Good morning Year 6, welcome to our next session for the writing. Today is our SPAG focus and we're going to be looking at a range of sentence types. So the first thing I want you to do please is if you can write today's date, which is Tuesday the 9th of February in your book. Must get the date right, it's 2021. And our learning objective today, I can use a range of sentence types for effects, okay? So a bit of a SPAG focus today. Don't forget to make sure that if you've got a ruler that you underline your dates and your LO. And I shall do the same now. Hopefully my pens work. So I'm just going to underline. Yours will be much neater than mine. Okay, and then I want you to start thinking about now, what different sentence types do you know? So the first thing is, I'll give you 30 seconds, have a think, how many different sentence types can you list? So I'll start you off. There's one on the board, 2A sentences, where we use adjectives in a sentence. What other ones can you think of? See how many you can list. We're only going to focus on 3 today, but see how many you can list. Bit of a test. And as you're doing that, I'm going to write on my board the ones that we're going to focus on today. So. Okay, now that you've had time to think, today we are going to look at the following 3 types of sentences. We're going to focus on 2A sentences, we're going to look at 3 ED sentences, and then DD sentences to get our colon in, okay? So the first one we're going to talk about today is the 2A. So, have a look at your PowerPoint, or you can have a look at this one afterwards. It says 2A sentences have 2 adjectives. We know that adjectives are describing words, okay? And those adjectives need to come before a noun. So we know that a noun is the name of a place, a person or a thing, or an object. And then you've been given an example here. So it says the glamorous, intelligent princess. So at this bit here, I've got glamorous, which is my adjective. I've also got another adjective here, and princess, which is also a noun. So actually in this sentence, I've got 2 examples of 2 adjectives in a noun. The second part, I've got grotesque, warty, and frog. Now, today, we are going to think of the sentences, examples that are 2A sentences, but that could also be linked with our diary entry from the viewpoint of Charlie. Now, yesterday, you read the chapter of the scene where Charlie gets escorted to his execution. So think about today, when you're doing these sentences, how can I write a 2A sentence from the viewpoint of Charlie, describing that scene that could also go in my diary entry at the end of the week. So I'm going to do an example with you now. So, a good starting point would be to think about how might Charlie be feeling at that point when he's being walked out onto that battlefield, onto the field where he's going to be basically executed in front of soldiers who were his former comrades and friends. Which is going to be quite a tricky thing, isn't it, to get your head around. So, we know that if it's going in a diary entry, it's going to be from his viewpoint. So we're going to have first person pronouns in there. But as it says on here, we must have 2 adjectives and a noun. So the example that they've given is the glamorous, intelligent princess kissed the grotesque, warty frog. So I'm going to try and adapt this so that it fits with private, peaceful. So I might put something like and I'm following the same structure, the crowded, there's my adjective, the crowded, let me think of another adjective, the crowded, I'm going to put intimidating, and I can make this better afterwards if I need to. The crowded, intimidating, I'm going to put here battlefield, was surrounded by, and I'm going to put something about the spectators. There'll be lots of soldiers there watching him being executed. So the crowded, I'm just going to do my self-assessment. I've got the crowded, there's my adjective, I've got my second adjective, and I've got my noun. So I'm on the right track for a 2A. The crowded, intimidating battlefield was surrounded by, I'm going to put fatigued, which means tired. I'm going to put traumatised, and then soldiers. Okay? I'm going to check again. I'm going back to check the structure of that 2A sentence. So if I look at the board, 2 adjectives and a noun. Have I got another 2 adjectives and a noun? Well, I've got fatigued, so that's an adjective.